the way that they tackled, like the worst tackling team in the NFL over the last 5 weeks of the regular season. I think everyone made every tackle perfectly. I feel like there might be something special happening. I feel like the coaching is so good that it can overcome, but there might be no bigger test than this weekend at Lumen.
He is joining us here on the Morning Roast. Will, let me start here. Are you stateside or are you across the pond currently?
No, I'm back across the pond right now. I'm in London, and I will be back in Seattle this Saturday for the game again. I am heading back across the pond again, but unfortunately, it's a wonderful thing that I have twin 18-month girls, but it does mean that I am not off the hook to stay for 3 or 4 straight weeks through to the Super Bowl, which I would love to have done if I could have done.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on that, and good luck to you, sir. Will Gavin joining us on the River Islands guest line. I got 2 that are 3 years apart, and I can only imagine with twins, Joe. I mean, God.
I got a 2.5-year-old. He just turned 2 in November, and he's sleeping in the bed with us every single night, and it's a nightmare right now. It's just a nightmare. So God bless you. Good luck, my man. You know, you did it.
Look, I was just going to say, luckily they're not quite that age yet, and they're still in cots, so I can get away with it. Napping at this very moment, probably not because I'm speaking this loudly, but you know what I mean. Like, it's still a little bit of leeway before we get there.
All right, you hit the scene hard this weekend with Niner fans, and I got to say, your call was amazing. The description, the ability to capture the energy of the moment, lay the scene out of what the Niners were going through, explaining the backdrop of how decimated the team was. I mean, Will, how long have you been doing this?
So I started doing football as in soccer commentary 15 or so years ago now. And funnily enough, I gave up doing football commentary because it wasn't really something I wanted to pursue. It was, I went into presenting radio and kind of did a job like you guys on overnight radio for a long time. But last Sunday was my 13th ever NFL game. I've only been doing it for the last 3 years. I do all the international games and the Super Bowl for TalkSport, basically. So I'm still a relative rookie, and to see just the amount of attention that this is getting is unbelievable.
Will Gavin joining us here. That's incredible. My jaw dropped too. I was like, 13 games, Will? Wow. 13? That's incredible.
The only reason I know that number, I hadn't got away and counted it up, but somebody asked me the same question after the game on Sunday. One of the guys actually from the 49ers international team. And I was like, I've only been doing it for about 3 years when our former play-by-play guy left. And so I went and I looked and I figured out how many games it was. And yeah, lucky 13, we'll all be wearing our Purdy jerseys come Saturday.
So Will, let me dive deeper into that. Well, why wasn't soccer hitting you that way? Because I got to be honest, it's kind of like you're Benedict Arnold, the British version over there, liking American football more than your own, as you would call it, football. Us over here in the States, obviously calling it soccer. Why wasn't it hitting you as much?
Look, I love football, our football. I love soccer. It is still my first passion. It's still the sport I first fell in love with. Going to watch my local team when I was kind of 6, 7 years old, and we used to sneak onto the terraces when they'd let people out about 20 minutes before full time, and we kind of sneak past security to go and watch the last 20 minutes. Like, I still go and watch football regularly. TalkSport is still very much a football-focused station, like as much as we've really adopted and come to love the NFL over doing the rights the last 7, 8 years or so. But I fell in love with American football. My old man worked for a San Francisco-based company, worked for Oracle. And so we'd be back and forth. They've got an office here. He'd work out there maybe 4 months of the year. And so I come out and I'd visit him, and I ended up watching Niners games on TV. And in fact, I kind of joke about it. The time that I remember it very vividly was I came in on a Sunday and I got to the hotel and I was about 16, 17 years old maybe. And I stuck the TV on and Sunday Night Football was on and it was 49ers Giants. And I fell in love with everything about the presentation of the sport. I fell in love with everything about the hard hitting, the passion. It really, really caught my attention immediately. The thing is, my flight was delayed by about 4 hours. So had I arrived on time, I might have ended up being a Raiders fan. And won a delay to that flight.
Oh, my God. So who's your favorite 49er then? Like, since you grew up with the team?
See, all time, That's a really hard question. It's difficult. I feel like I should say Richard Sherman because he's been giving me some love on social media the last couple of days.
Isn't that a weird thing to say? Seattle Seahawk legend, but who also played for the Niners, Richard Sherman, and we kind of love him.
Look, I'm a huge Frank Gore guy.
Me too.
That's very much when I first started coming in. And Frank came out and did a big event with the 49er Faithful UK fan base last year. And I got a chance to meet him, sit down and interview him. I didn't tell him at the time that like the first 49ers jersey I ever owned was like a Frank Gore training jersey. And then one of the guys from 49er Faithful was like, oh, Will's like a mega fan of yours. And I was like, oh, God, like, he's just the sort of thing you don't say to someone. And he insisted, he was like, do you have the jersey with you? And I was like, yeah, I've got the jersey with me. And he's like, made me get it out, put it on, signed it on my back. Like, he was so lovely about it. And it was, that was a real moment for me. But like that, I'd say Patrick Willis, of this team right now, it's hard to love anyone more than George, and like being there on Sunday and seeing him go down, but then seeing the reaction from all the guys in the locker room afterwards just showed how much he's the heart and soul of this team. I love it.
Will, you are like amazing, and I feel like we're like blood brothers over here, just separated, by I don't know, big ocean of water. But the way you captured the essence of how Niner fans felt when Purdy climbed in the pocket, made that throwing run, and like the description, everything. No wonder, like you could feel that you knew this team. That's the sense I got when I heard it. Can we play it one more time for everyone?
I got it right here.
This is Will Gavin. No, I can't get enough of this call because I'm getting goosebumps.
He sends Bourne in motion, stumps his foot, gets the ball, looks to his right-hand side, steps up in the pocket, throws left instead. Touchdown Niners! Christian McCaffrey right on the G of the Eagles in the end zone. And in the fourth quarter, they retake the lead. San Francisco up 4, 23-19. And this battered, bruised and banged up San Francisco team just won't take it lying down.
It's a Picasso, Will. Like, I'm being honest with you. I mean this with all my heart. It was brilliant. I mean, it's just brilliant. So take me through, like, when you're setting up this scene right here, you don't want to over-talk. You want to analyze the play that's happening. What's going through your head as you're trying to present this, or are you just blacking out? Because sometimes I black out when I'm broadcasting.
Like, what I'd say is, like, I love that my passion's really come across and how much I love the sport has really come across. A lot of people have kind of gone, I'd rather have a neutral on my games, or I don't know why it's a homer doing it. I implore people to go and find the other clips we've released from the last year or so. I first went viral last year with a call of the Cooper DeJean pick six in the Super Bowl, which I got to tell you, like, if that sounded high energy, the Cooper DeJean call, where basically it was one of those fluke moments. I set up the call by saying, like, Patrick Mahomes, this is a night where he's trying to prove his legacy. It's all on the line. He needs to make some magic. He needs to make something happen. And then he throws a pick six. And, like, it was just, like, one of those really fortunate moments. But I lost my mind. And as a fan, I'm not a fan of the Eagles as a 49ers fan, but as a broadcaster, as someone that's, loves the game, that loves watching great players. Cooper DeJean had a sensational rookie season, and see him make a play like that, like, I just love it. Like, there's a DK Metcalf touchdown from early this year where I lost my mind just as much. Like, it's not just a 49ers thing, but I do think that I think it's sometimes guys get too technical, and I'm not calling anyone out when I say this, but I think it should be about storytelling. And I think that as much as you want to help the listener understand how they're lined up, where they are on the field, down and distance, time left on the clock, give all that context, give some context to what they are doing on the play call. I think once the moment has happened, live in the moment, make it clear why it's important. Don't just, immediately turn to, right, I'm going to re-describe the play and explain that you ran like a reverse Texas route. And it was like all that, like, I'm like, give it the context first, make people understand why it's important. I think that's particularly important for, like, we're broadcasting back to a UK audience, right? So as much as the UK fan base has grown and grown and grown and is become such a big sport here, I would say that there is still, like, they still love it for the pomp, the circumstance, all the razzmatazz. Like, they love the NFL for, like, the Americana and everything. They don't necessarily want to know that they're in kind of split 2x2 formation and all that stuff. So it's kind of finding that balance between the two.
What would be a more improbable run, Will? The Niners winning the Super Bowl, or U.S. men's national team winning the World Cup this summer in the United States.
It's not even close. It's the U.S. men's national team winning the World Cup.
Come on, don't do that to me.
Honestly, it might be the US men's national team getting past the round of 16 is less likely than the 49ers winning the Super Bowl this year. No, I'd like with the new format, they'll get out the group and then everyone's got a chance, right? And there's a chance actually I might be out on the West Coast for their knockout game should they win the group. I'm planning to do a little trip down, do some games in LA, some games in San Francisco and Santa Clara, and maybe a couple up in Vancouver as well. I don't know. The US men's national team right now, as much as I'm a huge Maurizio Pochettino fan and loved him as like my old man was a Spurs fan growing up, and like that, I have a big link with that there. It just feels like there's not the talent on that team. It has one or two stars, but it's just not going to be strong enough in depth. And as much as a home World Cup can carry you so far, as we saw when we hosted the Euros here, I don't know. I'm not quite there. Whereas the 49ers, like, maybe I'm just talking myself into it. Maybe I just want it to be a great game on Sunday and on Saturday, sorry. And look, I went into the Eagles game expecting an Eagles victory. Like, I thought the 6 was high, but I still felt that the weakness on weakness, strength on strength of that game just meant they were going to have too much for, as I said, the battered, bruised, beat up 49ers team. Multiply that by 10 this weekend, right? The last game the Seahawks played, they held Kyle Shanahan to his lowest points total and his lowest yards total in his entire time as 49ers head coach. Like, that should mean that this is a game the 49ers shouldn't go and win. But the coaching job they did last weekend, the way that they managed to rally around after George went down, the changes that they made schematically on the offense over the remaining 3 quarters, the way that they tackled, like the worst tackling team in the NFL over the last 5 weeks of the regular season. And yet I remember maybe one missed tackle in that entire game, which was on the Saquon Barkley outside zone run. And outside of that, it's like, I think everyone made every tackle perfectly. So, you know, I feel like there might be something special happening. I feel like the coaching is so good that it can overcome, but there might be no bigger test than this weekend at Lumen.